I'm Kevin Shaw, and you're watching the Watercraft Journal. As the riding season really begins to kick off, we've had a lot of requested tutorials on our steps for a post-saltwater ride. Now, some of the steps you're going to see here are specifically for a sea-doo, and that's okay. But other stuff we're going to include in this video that will work for all makes and brands of personal watercraft. Now, obviously, we don't have a lot of saltwater here in Tennessee, but we're going to replicate all these steps here in my backyard on this dolly cart. Obviously, you're going to be at the launch ramp with your ski on a trailer, but we're not going to do anything here or use any special tools that you wouldn't have normally in your trailer or in your vehicle.
The basic items you'll need are a bottle of Saltwater, a threaded chemical diluting hose attachment, a can of XPS anti-corrosive lubricant, and or a can of WD-40 with the Big Blast spray attachment. You'll also need access to a garden hose, a wash bucket, boat wash or soap, degreaser, and a multi-use cleaner. Also, don't forget a wash mitt and some towels to dry off your ski. If you're planning on doing this just as you come in from the water, most municipal launch ramps will have public access to fresh water spigots. Just pull up nearby, pull the hose from your trailer's storage box, and begin rinsing off the salt water before it dries into hard water spots all over your ski. You can choose to wash your watercraft down now or flush out the engine and water box. It really doesn't matter, so we chose the latter. Flushing your ski is pretty easy. First, we filled up the reservoir and our hose attachment with straight Saltwater. It'll dilute on its own. Properly installing this to the hose fitting on the rear transom depends on whether you have a folding swim step or not. If your watercraft doesn't have one, like our RX-PX 300 shown here, it spins on pretty effortlessly. If your ski does have one, like this Sea-Doo GTI SE 170, you'll want to install the attachment first and then screw on the reservoir cup before attaching it to the hose. Next, turn on the water all the way for full maximum pressure and let it begin to fill. Fire up your watercraft's engine and let it idle a little bit before bringing the RPM up to about 2,000 to 3,000 RPM for a second or two at a time. There's no real reason to wring it out. Because we're working on a sea-doo, we don't operate the engine for longer than 30 to 45 seconds at a time. Prolonged use out of the water can prematurely wear the carbon ring seal, so we only want to do a couple short bursts of the throttle. Once done, we turn off the hose and wrap on the running engine's throttle once or twice just to purge the exhaust. We won't be able to get all the water out of the water box, but that's okay since the Saltwater infused water will help keep the salt deposits from forming inside. Next, we unthread the hose attachment from the transom and reattach it to the hose along with a good spray nozzle. Then we hose down both the exterior of the sea-doo with our Saltwater sprayer, as well as gently misting the engine compartment. For sea-doos so equipped, it's not totally necessary to remove the inspection cover unless you see quite a bit of salt water in the bottom of the engine compartment or heavy deposits on the engine itself. Otherwise, spraying a steady mist for a few seconds will suffice. And if your engine has a plastic decorative cover, make sure to remove that now. You can put it back on later after you've washed and oiled your engine down. With that, we poured what little Saltwater was left in our reservoir into the wash bucket, as well as half a cup of XPS Care wash and wax. But before we went to town with our soapy wash mitt, we applied a generous coat of XPS Care hull cleaner for our GTI. The hull cleaner is a strong, penetrating cleaner formulated specifically for Polytech hulls. XPS suggests letting it soak for a few minutes before scrubbing and spraying it off. With a nice healthy lather, we soap down every surface of our watercraft, working our way from top to bottom, including the hull from beginning to end. Simply spraying your ski down, even with a pressure washer, isn't enough to break hard, baked-on salt deposits. A wash mitt and some elbow grease are your only tools here. Finally, we hose down our sea-doo with fresh water. With our mitt, we manually paddle the gallons of water that have accrued in the footwells. With a final pass of our spray nozzle, including another misting of the engine compartment, it's time to begin drying. It's always a good idea to keep dry towels or a chamois in your trailer's storage bin if you have one. We've had tremendous success with the Waves micro towels, which are super absorbent and always soft to the touch. Now it's time to wipe around the edges where the front hood seals and around your seats. Lastly, grab your penetrating spray lubricant and generously spray basically anything metal or rubber inside of the engine compartment. Equally, shoot a little around the steering cable, hinges, and front shock, as well as inside and around the pump, intake grate, and ride plate. This will coat it all with a protective film that'll last until the next time you hit the water. Once home, you'll want to pop the hood open again, as well as stand the seats up so that the engine compartment can air out. If you can, place a thick block of wood or a brick beneath your trailer's front caster to tilt it up at an angle several inches. This will allow any remaining water to seep out of the open drain plugs. Lastly, if you don't keep your watercraft inside and plan to store it outdoors, please keep it protected with a good UV blocking ski cover, as plastics and soft materials can quickly fade and crack under the blistering sun. All of these steps will ensure that your personal watercraft will continue looking great and live for many more years of open ocean enjoyment.
I'm Kevin Shaw and you've been watching the Watercraft Journal. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. It's definitely going to help us grow the channel. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell, because we publish new articles every day, Sunday through Friday. And of course, we publish new written articles every day, Monday through Friday, entirely free to you at www.watercraftjournal.com.